of all the
Ruining's
planeswalkers.
excellent,
But
yeah.
he does have some dead weight in his deck. The one Massacre Worm, a
Massacre
variety of
Worm,
sub.
probably not that good. Postboard, he gets things like Beast Within, so he actually has more ways to fight Planeswalkers. Game 1, a few dead cards, but you know, I still think he's okay, whereas he's probably still pretty fine.
Yeah. All right, so we're underway here. David Ochoa starting off with a Seachrome Coast.
So Sam, despite that he's a ramp deck, you know, not all in on the ramp plan. He's got a couple different ways that he plays here. Ratchet Bomb from David Ochoa. I'm not sure if he knows what Sam's playing yet.
There's a sphere is a pretty telling card to play.
Right. Sam Spotting does have a Day of Judgment in his hand. That's going to be pretty much a mulligan here.
An Isolated Chapel entering the battlefield tapped.
Sam kind of playing whether to play around Mana Leak. He has a Solemn to go for. I imagine he goes for it anyway.
Yeah. Playing around, trying to play around. It's going to get a Mana Leak. Trying to play around Solemn Simulacrum with a trying to play around a Mana Leak by waiting with a Solemn Simulacrum is not an easy endeavor.
That's not a bad thing to have a Mana Leak. Solemn Simulacrum, I mean, it's a very good card against control. You know, it gains card advantage. They have to kill it. You 2-for-1 them, but you know, it
appears to be Ochoa. Yeah, Ochoa's going to just Ratchet Bomb away the sphere here.
Right. And create his own Lingering Souls. So that's going to really force Sam to have to go over the top instead of sneaking with his aggro plan. Sam does have a Grave Titan in his hand, so it's very doable. Plays Vault of the Archangel. Looks like he has his own...
Yeah, that's a Singleton Vault.
He's going to respond to his own Linger Souls. One thing, like David Ochoa's pretty okay. Gentleman provides the spirits. David Ochoa's will be fine trading these off. Probably will make Sam attack, though.
Yep.
David with more Mana Leaks, but no more lands.
Yeah, misses his fourth land drop here, rather. So
Sam, with plenty of time, maybe we'll just out-mana him through the fact. But remember, Ochoa, I think, with 2 Mana Leaks, so as soon as he hits the 4th land, it will be hard to resolve bigger spells for Sam.
Right.
Sam's still with a Grave Titan, so eventually that, you know, because of the role, he's going to have to go to the top. He's going to probably have to resolve something big. He can't just he can't probably nickel and dime Ochoa this game.
Right. And Ochoa passing with the Lingering Souls in his graveyard, representing either Forbidden Alchemy, Think Twice, Mana Leak, like a variety of instances he has access to here. Casts a Ratchet Bomb.
Please report to the side event stage.
And Sam, so he's going to think twice here before blockers. Sam with a Day of Judgment in his hand and a Ratchet Bomb in play, really sort of struggling with the dead cards he's drawing.
Well, with Ratchet Bomb actually is pretty live here. He may not know.
It's a slow burn to get to a Planeswalker, but yeah, he can cash it in.
Like time's on his side. Sam might not know that that's what he has to be doing here, and he doesn't. He doesn't ratchet up, though. I think that's probably the play he would want to do, is start cranking up the Ratchet Bomb. Sam actually with no more lands either, asking cards in hand. Ochoa not to think twice in the yard. Obviously, that will be his play.
So it appears Sam's hand has 2 Grave Titans and a Day of Judgment.
All right. Well, he can put Ochoa on, you know, Mana Leak check, where...
Yeah, he's going to play it slow here.
Play it slow. Ochoa will let this resolve. It's fine. 2 damage a turn. Ochoa just needs to keep hitting his land drops.
Right. But with Think Twice in the graveyard, and this game definitely going at Ochoa's pace right now.
Draws the extra card, and still, I don't see another land yet. He has a Day of Judgment as well. There we go. There's
a Glacial Fortress for him.
And yeah, so that he also, I believe, has a Gideon Jura in his hand. He's going to flash back his own souls, though.
And plays another Isolated Chapel. Conspicuously leaving up 2 mana.
Sam's still not cranking up the Ratchet Bomb. Ochoa's probably okay just letting this hit him. Either way, really.
Yeah, I think Ochoa has a curse in his hand, so he's weighing against, like, can I wait, take a couple hits here and then clear out everything, or am I better off trading now?
Right, because he can clear off everything, and that's obviously very powerful. He can let Sam have a turn of Grave Titan, and then he has a Day of Judgment to follow it up. And gonna keep leaking the Solemns.
Yeah, so Sam was able to induce a Mana Leak there and keep his Grave Titans in hand, so hopefully trying to set up a spot where he can land something huge.
I imagine Ochoa may tap out, swinging curse him.
I think he might curse him. Having Day of Judgment backup is a pretty compelling reason to just just curse.
The danger here, which he's running, is that Sam will play Primeval Titan.
Right, which is much worse for him.
Sam contemplating the Ratchet Bomb, still leaving it at 0. No Primeval Titan, just hits the 2 Lingering Souls. Don't really like that play very much. He has Grave Titan. He has to think that the only answer Ochoa here has is a Day of Judgment. The Souls are probably as good as dead anyway. I would have left the Ratchet Bomb.
Right, also you just get another shot at it, right? You're not in any rush. You can still untap it. You can untap and make the same play.
Right. And Ochoa with the Day of Judgment.
So now this is going to be a big Mana Leak test. Does he have the 3rd one? Because you had to assume that he's going to try to just stick his Grave Titan here.
Sam also has a Sorin in his hand. He can try for that. It still gets Mana Leaked. He doesn't have another land. I think the question is which one? Yeah, Sorin, not much of a threat here because of Curse of Death's Hold. Ochoa will probably just let that resolve. It doesn't really present too much of a threat.
Not that compelling with the curse in play.
The threat is that Ochoa will have to kill the Sorin before... And that thing's dead. They should have that off the table. Yep,
there you go.
Noticed it. Not sure Sam noticed that when he chose which spell to resolve. But Ochoa is going to have to attack the Sorin. If Sorin gets an ultimate out... Well, come to think, if Sorin gets an ultimate out, how bad is that for Ochoa?
Here is Gideon.
Gideon, excellent at killing other planeswalkers.
Yep.
And he's casting Ratchet Bomb. He has no other counter spells here.
So now he can definitely land his Grave Titan here. And he's just drawn an Elesh Norn?
Yes. Can't cast the Elesh Norn. Probably just Grave Titan here. He's going to demand that Ochoa show him another Day of Judgment, really.
Okay.
And second Grave Titan comes down for Sam Gaard. Ratchet Bomb pretty sweet here. Should be able to get 4 zombies with the Ratchet Bomb. Sorin moving up to 5.
So we're going to look at a main phase thing twice here. Ochoa digging for Day of Judgment or...
Not leaving up mana for Day of Judgment, actually. Oh, no, those are Chapels or more blue-blacks?
Those are Chapels.
Okay, so he has whatever spell he wants. Opting to crack Ratchet Bomb on 0.
This probably means Liliana. Yep.
Yes. And it does.
So this is a big turn. It means
Liliana, a great find off the Think Twice.
Yep. Huge turn for Ochoa there.
Almost a sealed deal right there.
Yep.
Gideon, even the Elesh Norn in Sam's hand, won't do very much. You know, I still think it comes down to a little bit that cracked Ratchet Bomb. Really, I think haunting Sam at this point. It could be on 3 by now, especially on 5 would get rid of the curse and the Gideon.
We discard. Sam probably pretty happy about that. Gets us throw away his Day of Judgment.
Go for the throw. No Ochoa's hand though.
Coming up to the main event stage. We're going to get you started. $10 draft number 13 coming up to the main event stage. We're going to get you started.
Almost certainly gives.
Yeah, I think we're going to start. I think Gideon's going to start finishing off the game here. Yep.
Is Liliana there at 2, not 1, I believe.
Yeah, it did last turn, and then they both discarded this turn, so it's on 2.
So he has another Edict. Looking pretty good for Ochoa. Sam's actually played a lot of his large threats. Yeah. Doesn't have too many threats left. And this should be pretty much it for this game. Up to 3, there we go.
I'll zoom in.
Gideon swings, putting Sam down to 6.
Yep.
And that
should be the ball game.
Can't imagine what he would draw here. The postboard, obviously after Sam sees a lot of Planeswalkers out of Ochoa, he's going to side in stuff like Beast Within. I actually still like Ratchet Bomb here. I think he needs to answer Ochoa's Planeswalkers.
Right, and he might have cards in his deck that are actually just worse, is the other issue.
Day of Judgment, Massacre Worm. I think, okay, Ochoa, Sam will bring in a Karn Liberated. I think he will bring in 2 Beast Withins.
Do you like Jace? Do you like Memory Adept for Ochoa?
In this sort of matchup, Memory Adept's usually more for a control matchup. I think Ochoa still wants to be the answer deck. I don't really see the point of having another Planeswalker that doesn't affect the board.
I think Life's Finale is going to come in out of
Life's Finale will be
when I was birding one of Ephro's matchups yesterday, I watched him have a singleton one of these in his deck. So this is it is Wrath of God plus get 3 cards out of their deck.
It's very strong, especially in a deck with so few threats.
Right.
You'll see Life's Finale probably Dissipate and probably Nile Spellbomb. really want to eliminate the Lingering Souls. So Sam's deck, 2-dimensional with Lingering Souls and with Titans. David would really like to reduce that to a 1-dimensional fight, because the 1-dimensional fight of counter spells versus 6-drops, something Ochoa would love to fight. So
Right.
It's almost a free roll to run the spell bombs. I'd imagine they all come in.
Yep. So yeah, Sam not able to pick up the first game. Not that surprising since, as we saw, he had a Ratchet Bomb, which was not the most. It was fine, but not super efficient. He was choking on a Day of Judgment there. He actually basically hit 6 mana and then had a bunch of big stuff to do from there, and it was still not enough to overcome Ochoa's card drawing and sweepers and planeswalkers.
Right.
Just a very challenging matchup, certainly game 1.
Yeah, well, the Lingering Souls out of Ochoa is so strong in the sense that it protects all his planeswalkers, and that he can just trade them with Sam's Lingering Souls is really good for him.
Yeah, certainly the Lingering Souls are much more powerful in Ochoa's deck than in Sam's deck, in the context of the matchup.
Yeah, they really. Well, really, it's whoever draws. Drawing more of them is pretty important. Yeah. Ochoa wants one. One's probably enough. One's enough to make sure that dimension doesn't do it. The second one for Ochoa, not very important. So yeah, it's more. I think more. I agree. More important that Ochoa draws them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a lot of Sam's card advantage works under the presumption that his spells are actually resolving. Like
Right.
Grave Titan is worth somewhere between 3 and 1 million cards, depending on what you're playing. What you're playing against. Elish Norn very similar. But unfortunately, it's all predicated on actually resolving and attacking and whatever, and that's just very challenging to do against a deck that's basically all card draw sweepers and counter spells.
Well, actually, Elish Norn not and that one thing this deck does. Elish Norn's not probably only 1 card in the matchup, which is one of the reasons. It's such a powerful card against aggro, but it's really a 4/7 for 7 sometimes.
Tim Dover to the public
against control decks.
$10 draft number 7. Thank you.
And this is actually a fairly honest Primeval Titan deck as far as these things go. He's not like getting 2 Valor Cuts. He's not even getting like a Wolf Run and an Nexus. He's just getting some lands with some utility.
Yeah.
So even though Resolve Primeval Titan doesn't necessarily mean that Sam's in the driver's seat, he just gets 2 lands out of his deck.
One of them being a Gavoni Township, pretty good, but once again, if Ochoa can take care of all the Lingering Souls, it doesn't matter all that much.
Right. So I'm trying to think what actually Ochoa cuts out of his deck, because he has very little in the way of dead weight. Like, the 2 Ratchet Bombs are pretty poor. And
those seem like something I might not like as much.
It's tough. Like, Curse is only really good against Lingering Souls and Sorin.
I think his own Sorins are probably not the Planeswalker I want the most right now. So David Ochoa's running 2 Sorins.
You think that the presence of Sorin in the other deck means that you're more inclined to keep him in just as a legend
There's
rule?
Sorin in the other deck, there's Lingering Souls in the other deck. I don't think making a 1/1 lifelink is a particularly relevant ability in this matchup for Ochoa. And the emblem, obviously not very relevant. Elspeth Knight Errant had this really good thing in control decks where it eventually won the game, but it made a chump blocker every turn, which was very hard for aggro, especially you cast a Day of Judgment and then you have a chump blocker every turn. That's really good, but I don't see chump blockers, especially lifelinkers on the ground, being that good against Sam here.
Yeah.
So the effect that you want out of it isn't really that strong. I would rather just have things. I'd rather have Dissipate. I'd rather have Negate.
Yeah, those cards certainly.
Maybe not Negate so much. Dissipate for sure. All right, Sam leads off on Woodland Cemetery. Let me see, and Evolving Wilds.
Which also looks like Moorland Haunt, which also looks like Drown Yard.
And Ghost Quarter. And Rampant Growth from Sam. A fine spell in the matchup, not a great one.
Scott Paris, please come to the public event stage. Scott Paris to the public event stage. Thank you.
Ochoa, so David Ochoa gets a Swamp. No really early black cards from Ochoa. He has 2 Go for the Throat. Probably just has all the other colors in his hand, and he does.
Seachrome Coast.
It's representing Mana Leak.
The perfect mana.
Whether or not Sam tests it. He's gonna try it. That elicited counterspells from Ochoa all of last game.
Does not appear he has Mana Leak in his
No,
hand.
he has Go for the Throat. A lot of lands.
Dissipate.
Ochoa's hand actually looks to be fairly on the weak side.
Yeah,
from what
a
I
lot
saw
of
there.
lands.
A lot of lands, which is great for a control deck, but he has to make sure he has ways to deal with
Yeah, the fear here is that, you know,
Titans.
he tested the water. Sam tested the waters with the Solemn in the first game, and it got countered. The fact that it wasn't hit with the leak, from Sam's perspective, might mean that Ochoa just has nothing.
You can't assume Ochoa has nothing to go for the throat, Ochoa. I mean, go for throat's a good assumption.
He
probably doesn't keep it something with nothing.
Sure.
Ochoa's game plan in this game, he has Consecrated Sphinx, is really just going to be like, build up to the Sphinx.
$10 booster draft number 15. Please report to the side event stage.
He does have Grave Titan. He also has Lingering Souls. He's
Yep.
going to go for Grave
He's going
Titan.
to test the waters here.
Demanding the Mana Leak.
Dissipate, I think. Yeah, it's going to get hit with a Dissipate.
Hit with the Dissipate. Ochoa also had the option to let it resolve and go for the Throat it, but right now 2 zombies, probably just too much pressure.
So Ochoa has just drawn Jace, Memory Adept.
Yep, Lingering Souls of his own. So, probably plenty of blockers here, and Sam now with Primeval Titan draw. He'll go for Massacre.
Oh, it's a Massacre.
4 damage, 6 damage. Very strong draw right there. Well, he didn't draw the Massacre, he drew a Primeval Titan, so drops Ochoa to 12. Ochoa on the back, really on a back foot. Now he draws the Mana Leak.
Yep.
He has Jace Memory Adept. Sam could care less about it.
Right.
I think when you're asking about whether or not to slide in Jace, this is kind of the board state of why I was kind of in the anti-Jace camp. I see how on an empty board Jace is an excellent card. But I think one thing Sam needs to be sure, David needs to be sure in this matchup that everything can be answered, and after that, everything else is, it's great to have such a high impact card as Jace, but you need to make sure that you live toward that. Remember, Ochoa now with Mana Leak, but Sam can just cast another Solemn, which is actually an excellent play right here.
It's just. These are excellent when they start resolving. It's just invalidating the Mana Leaks as the game progresses and gives Sam pressure with insurance against Day of Judgment. He just gets the gas back up.
Ochoa does not have the 6th land, does have a Consecrated Sphinx. His game plan here is probably just to drop a land and slam the Sphinx and cross fingers.
Yep.
And Sam passes the turn. Ochoa does not hit the land. No, he does. He hits the Seagrum Coast.
So he's
going to have to make Lingering Souls instead for a turn.
Come over to the side event stage.
Attention Magic players, we are now ready to start taking sign-ups for the Modern Challenge.
Now Ochoa's still at 10. He was at 12 last. Yeah, it's at 12, then to 10.
See me over at the side of the stage, and I'll be able to get you registered. It is a
Going to block a Solemn.
Yep, he's going to take 2. Sam's going to get a draw card here.
On your final points at the end of 4 rounds.
Just drew a Garrick.
He does not have a Garrick, I don't believe.
Oh, that was a Sorin?
Yeah, it's a Sorin.
Okay.
Gonna make a creature and probably ramp his mana a little more. So we have Sphere of the Suns. Gonna get Mana Leaked. David decided to use the card while he can. He's gonna tap out for the Sphinx anyway.
And that Mana Leak doesn't get any better if Sphere of the Suns resolves, so.
Right. Is that a Titan in Sam's hand, or maybe is it another Sphere? He has a I can't really tell. Maybe he has it's an Oblivion Ring. I believe. David draws 2 cards, and it's O-Ring. O-Ring Emblem puts Ochoa to 3. I think that's the play I like here.
Yeah, and the Planeswalkers are pretty awesome here, just as giving Sam a way to advance his board while giving him some insurance against Day of Judgment.
Problem with O-Ring is it means he's 1 land short on his Primeval Titan. That'll be fine. Drop him to 3. Sam moves up to the ever-relevant 22 life points. So last card he had. Oh, it's not Primeval Titan. Sorry, it's Beast Within. Which I actually, that's also excellent.
Yep.
Did he just draw that? It's an interesting thing. So he opted to let Ochoa then. Provided he didn't draw it, he opted to let Ochoa draw the 2 cards of Consecrated
time
Saints.
in round 13.
Right, I think that he doesn't care too much about the... Like, the worst thing that can happen here is that he gets Gideoned, right?
Right, Gideon, but then Beast Within's fine. Or is it?
Right, well, that's what you want.
Yeah,
You would rather save...
Yeah, he has a Titan, Green Titan and Beast Within. There's a Curse of Death's Hold in Ochoa's hand, which unfortunately doesn't do anything, because if you resolve it, Soren can make a 2nd emblem, win the game.
I think the concern with Beast of It is that his clock is way slower if he takes that route, because he gets to block that turn. So maybe it's better just to let Ochoa draw the 2 cards and avoid using your Beast Within if you can.
We might see Sam end step Beast Within his own land here.
Yeah, that's another option he has afforded to him. But yeah, I think in that position I'm happy to let Ochoa draw 2 and just have the flexibility of Beast Within as backup.
Right. Ochoa alchemying, I think, looking for a Day of Judgment, but you know, even a Day of Judgment is still weak to the end step. Beast Within will kill him.
Right.
Mana Leak 2 Sorens. I think Ochoa out of outs here. He's gonna O-ring on the O-ring, which I think's fine. Actually, if I'm Sam, I let that resolve and I Beast Within my own land.
Right, it's just a weird situation here because now he's back in Mana Leak territory if he wants to fire off the Beast Within at the end of the turn. So now he has to weigh, like...
That's fine, though. If he fires out, if it gets Mana Leaked, he makes a 2nd emblem, kills him.
Sure.
So I think it's fine. I think end step, I don't like that he didn't... I liked the end step Beast Within your own land, actually. It's going to Beast Within the O-ring that's on the O-ring. Yeah, I really don't like this line as much. I think the end step Beast Within won the game there.
I think you're right.
He possibly is letting Ochoa back into the game. Soren makes a 2nd emblem. This still I think is lethal.
Yeah, I mean if he has a kill spell then.
But a go for the throat would have got him there. Sam wins it, going to game 3.
So yeah, pretty much an ideal sculpting of the game from Sam's perspective. He got to start off with a ramp spell. Ochoa didn't have a Mana Leak for the Solemn, and he was sort of able to ramp over the top of a lot of and resolve some good threats there. Ochoa was sort of on the back foot the whole time.
To me, it shows really why Game 1 Ochoa was despite the fact, okay, Sam's deck has Solemn Simulacrum, has Perennial Titan, Grave Titan, Elesh Norn, and Ochoa very quickly chose to Mana Leak all the Solemn Simulacrums he saw.
Yep.
And I think that game shows exactly why. It's a 2/2 for 4, but it's so much more in this matchup. Can't really effectively kill them. You know, they're 3-for-1s every time he spends a kill spell on.
Right. So, what do you think cards just change? From David's perspective, what cards do you think change a lot in value versus of like on the play versus on the draw?
Number 6 going up to the
draw.
side of its stage. Standard win
But do you
box
ever
number
like
6 to the side of
if you're
its
playing a
stage,
deck like
please.
Ochoa's, do you ever see yourself cutting cards like Think Twice when you're on the draw and keeping them in while you're on the play? Or are those cards kind of too integral to what the deck's trying to do that you just never touch them?
I usually don't touch the... Well, in a matchup like this, no, I don't really touch the Think Twice. What you want to make... I mean, what you really care about is that you have the business spells on turn 2. Especially in matchups where you're on the draw. You know, the 2-drops get better, the more expensive spells get worse. Think Twice is still fine. It's cheap enough that it's not too much of a commitment. If you had just extra kill spells to side in, maybe you do that. But if your extra spells cost 3, no, I'd probably still go with the Think Twice because you can.
Attention Magic players.
It doesn't actually like change the first 2 turns of the game. To say decide on Think Twice for Dissipate, you're not really gaining anything. You could have cycled the Think Twice and then had a random card from the rest of your deck, probably as good as the Dissipate. The bigger thing is that on the play, David's counter magic lines up so much better.
Right.
Solemns can be dissipated now.
You can leak a ramp spell.
Right. I'm not still sure I leak the rampant growth unless depending on the rest of my hand,
Yeah.
maybe if I have a Liliana, I leak it, but
Come on up to the side event
yeah, but you get
stage.
those, you're afforded those options. A lot more of your spells are just live.
Right. Yeah, the leak is a funny thing because Sam has some percentage of his draws that have to play just straight into Mana Leak.
Ryan
And
Johnson,
his best.
Kristen-
He also has some draws where he's actually very
and
good at playing
Jordan
around Mana
Dunn.
Leak.
Come on up to
And
the
so
side event
the
stage.
decision point of like where you're actually going to fire off your leaks, like if you're going to hold him versus a ram spell against a ram spell versus countering the ram spell, that's actually a pretty complicated decision.
Standard winner box number 6.
And often you're kind of just rolling dice because Sam's draws just have such a wide range of how much Mana Leak matters.
Coming up for
Right.
$10 draft number 16, Damon Wood to the side event stage for $10 draft number 16.
Mana Leak against something like a Lingering Souls draw is really only buying time. It's not a control card.
Right.
So on the play out of Ochoa, I think his deck plays primarily the same. Cards like Forbidden Alchemy become better. You can really because you can afford the time to play them. Ochoa still only playing 2 Forbidden Alchemies in his deck.
Yeah. Yeah, all the cards that require a little bit of breathing space to be at their most
Right.
effective get so much better when you're on the play. All your planeswalkers, your card drawing spells.
So every witness gave 2. Which side of this matchup would you say you like to be on?
Oh, David's for sure.
Okay. I would agree with you, I think. Ochoa contemplating
both
his hand,
keeping-
both
both keep
keeping.
7.
Sam has a Liliana. He's decided to side in his Liliana of the Veils.
Could just be the legend rule, could also just be to +1, but I'm not a huge fan
I
of
don't
it
really
here.
like that at all. It's another spell, because what to me, why I don't like it, what that is it's a spell that David does not have to counter.
Right.
And that's why I don't like it. So he decided instead of fighting over the mana spells, he's going to fight over the business spells. He's going to let it ramp, just draw cards.
Two-headed giant players, your pairings.
Especially
Lingering Souls.
out of a hand like Sam's, which is ramp spells and titans, you kind of wish he would have countered the ramp spell, because it makes you think, oh, he's going to have a counter spell for my titan, I'm going to need a new plan. Lingering Souls, effectively shutting down the early game version of Sam's deck. You know, like I said, Ochoa savings removal for the late
And makes
game.
his Liliana significantly worse.
Yeah, I still don't really like that board in, but he's going to have the Solemn, which I think Sam probably runs out here.
Yeah. I would be surprised if he has something better to do than casting Solemn Simulacrum.
Yeah, and he agrees. As I saw last game, Solemn just so good against David's deck. Because David has Souls this time, it won't actually be a clock, but it'll just be a great... I mean, it will still probably be a 2-for-1 in this situation, not a 3-for-1.
Well, it depends how Ochoa's hand is configured. Like, if he has a 4th land in the Mana Leak, he might just be happy to just start bashing, flash back, and put some
And just
pressure on it.
racing.
Yeah. If he has enough... If he feels he has enough counterspell removal to keep Sam's big plays off the table, he might be happy racing.
Another testament to the strength of Lingering Souls when you see this control deck suddenly deciding to go aggro.
Just turn it on, yeah.
Yeah. It's very unlikely that Sam has a way to profitably interact with Lingering Souls, more Lingering Souls. I don't.
Well, we know there's a Massacre Worm hanging out here, which is probably on Ochoa's mind after last game.
I suppose there's the problem about if you flashback Lingering Souls, you better have a mana.
Yeah.
You can't get Massacre Wormed.
Yeah.
He has a negate in his hand. I don't know if Ochoa has any other counter spells. If I were Sam, I probably would just...
It's possible that's why Ochoa was tanking so long on that Sphere of the Suns on the second turn. If his counterspells negate, it's much more attractive than to use it there than to Mana Leak. But if he has Think Twice in his hand, you probably just want to start burning through your deck.
So it's a Q play pre-combat Gavoni Township means David can't really block here. Sam has to decide whether he actually wants to cast anything into this. He might... Good, he cast something low investment. Lingering Souls. Perfect.
Right, I think Ochoa, as long as it's not anything too threatening, he'd much prefer to be able to flashback Think Twice than to do any,
Well, the Gavoni Township is just so good right here.
Right.
Sam probably won't play the second half of his Lingering Souls, or maybe he's going to ramp instead. Which is excellent, because, a Gavoni Township plus 3 creatures, that's plenty to win the game. That's a big enough question that David's going to have to answer it. No need to really play any more into this. The only trump card David could have that's can go over the top of the threat that Sam's preventing presenting as like a consecrated Sphinx. I think if David plays a consecrated Sphinx, Sam would have to, you know, sweep the board or something like that. But other than that, I think it's David has to answer here. Any ghost quarters in Ochoa's deck?
0.
0. So Gavoni Township is here to stay.
Yep.
And actually, in this board state, I really like where Sam's positioned. I really like how he's basically, his ramp deck is sneaking in with Township and creatures.
Yeah, the issue from David's perspective is like, does he have enough time to sort of slowly manage Sam's board and then land his big stuff, or does he tap out for something big here to try to catch up and possibly expose himself to some gigantic play out of Sam's deck?
He can't really manage it while keeping mana up.
It's tough. Yeah, it's very tough. The Township makes it, and the fact that there's still lingering souls floating around the graveyard just makes it a very difficult proposition.
All right, Gideon's going to brawl off the Sun Titan, or the Solemn Simulacrum. Draws a card.
So, David's Gaard is down. We could have there's a bunch of big draws that Sam could have here. Massacre and Worm would be insane. Even any Titan, assuming that Ochoa doesn't have a Day of Judgment, would be awesome as well.
Sam does have a green Titan in his hand. If he attacks, David will probably block souls to souls here.
Yeah, for sure. If Ochoa would be thrilled with Sam spending his turn jamming a Township.
Competitors, standings after 13 rounds. And pairings for
Sam
round
might do it
14
anyway, you know. David still has to prove that he can just answer, you know, souls growing and growing.
Are now posted.
Pre-combat Primeval Titan, I don't really know why you have to do it pre-combat. I mean, you're going to do it anyway. It doesn't really matter.
I mean, if you're not attacking, he
might
just
that's fair. He may not be attacking. So remember, Sam can actually grab a second Gavoni Township here, and probably has the mana to do both.
Yep.
And and Vault. So that's all his utility lands. After this, he's just getting
Ghost Quarters, right?
Two Ghost Quarters.
But Ghost Quarters not very good against. Ochoa has like nothing really to Ghost Quarter, so.
No, plenty of basics.
Yep. Plenty of basics, no special lands, just duels.
David,
it's not true. He's got Drowned Catacombs, but we aren't at a point to be worrying about that just yet.
David would love to cast a Day of Judgment or Consecrated Sphinx here. Well, maybe not Consecrated Sphinx. Day of Judgment would be excellent.
Zach Owen and Brendan Lutzy, your legacy win box.
Yep, Sam on his turn does have enough mana to double Township, which is, ironically, just enough damage to kill Gideon, who +2s. Decides to taunt this turn. David, full grip of cards though. He does have the go for the throat for the Titans. So Titans, kind of his fun's over.
Right.
He has a mana leak, a negate, a go for the throat. Well, all of his business, I believe, though, on the table. Back over to Sam. Draws another land. Yet another. And can go to attacks.
I assume before we
go to attacks, stop before attacks. No more lands. He's checking to see if he has enough colored sources to double Township. He does.
Our table 6. Yep. David Gleicher and Josh Snow, please report to the GG's
Puts both in front of one.
He wants to get Sam to spend his whole turn just jamming both of his Townships.
From Sam, I think I'm probably okay with that. I think I'd do it.
3, please report to the other feature match area.
You know, the worry is that David will have another go for the throat, and then David can maybe just, Gideon will get progressively stronger. Yeah. You go for that one token, Gideon brawls the other token, and then suddenly I don't know about Sam's position.
Right.
I don't know if he has another option, so I think he's going to go for it anyway. Sam's hand, I know at least one land in it, and a Liliana in it. Card I'm still not a fan of here. I'm going to do it again. And Ochoa, no go for the throat. Sigh of relief from Sam. Stronger board now. And Alchemy may hopefully for a day.
And this is why this is why Ochoa, I believe, made that block. Was he was just wanted to have the breathing space to be able to fire off his Forbidden Alchemy.
Now the question, though, he could have fired off the...
Like, if he commits...
He could fire off the Alchemy. I guess he's already made blocks. It's all the same. Takes a go for the throat. Bins another Alchemy in 2 lands. Gideon's at 3. Gideon can taunt one more time.
Yeah, and Ochoa just drew a Lingering Soul, so he's actually starting to, like, push himself back over, like, giving Gideon enough breathing space to just keep doing his thing.
Remember, Ochoa has another Souls in the yard, so Gideon will brawl one down. Yeah.
And now we're getting to the point where, you know, Ochoa's sitting on Dissipate plus Negate. Like, he actually has some answers to some draws.
It's Mana Leak and Negate, right? Or is it
I believe he has a Dissipate in his hand.
That's much better. All right.
So for as far as ahead as it appears Sam was getting, like, it's still, you know, Ochoa's at 18, 2 Forbidden Alchemies in the graveyard, 2 Lingering Souls in the graveyard. Gideon's still doing his thing. He's got a lot of time and a lot of resources to keep, you know, grinding Sam down.
Sam really hoping to resolve this spell.
This is like
I actually think I think it's just Mana Leak. I think Sam's Titans are actually safe here. I mean, relatively.
Grand Prix competitors, welcome to the second to last round of Swiss. Good luck to all of you. You have 50
Perhaps
minutes.
He has
you may
both.
begin.
I'm not sure. I know he has Go for the Throat, Negate. Yeah.
$10 draft number 17.
Lingering Souls basically will protect Gideon
number 17. Come on
quite a long time.
Side event stage, please. We're ready to begin.
We're going to play the Liliana. Not really the card we like here. Ochoa may negate it just because he has...
he might not be able to negate anything else.
Yeah. Oh, it appears Ochoa has both the Dissipate and the Mana Leak. So maybe we're both right.
We're both right. Hooray!
Yeah. See, he'll go for the negate. He just has such a good slew of counter magic. And Sam with another Liliana in hand.
Also, he doesn't want to be too jammed up on mana. It's another thing from Ochoa's side of things. Like, with Forbidden Alchemy and 7 lands in play, he basically just wants to cast his spells now to trade in for value as he can and spend the next couple of turns flashing back his flashback spells if he can.
If you're Sam, would you say you probably here make both players I actually like multiple... Yeah, and he's going to make both people...
Edict doesn't get you anywhere because
there's too many
low souls in the graveyard, yeah.
So he gets that, so...
Side event stage for your draft, please.
Gets the Mana Leak, so keeps Go for the Throat. And I think he's going to flashback. Sam, now probably is time to flashback your own Lingering Souls. Let's protect the Liliana. Let's use Liliana to take out the counter magic. So now Ochoa, just with a Go for the Throat, he does have an Alchemy in the yard, which is really important.
Right, and I think he probably wants to cast his Go for the Throat now, if possible, because he just wants to flashback. It's really tempting to use his mana here so he can flashback Forbidden Alchemy next turn.
Yeah, there's tempting. There's also the problem, though, that, like, he's right now cold to Titans. You know, two top deck threats. I mean, obviously the worst thing is, like, Sam could top deck a Karn. That would probably be the positively worst thing that could happen for Ochoa. With this army that Sam's amassed, it's going to be very hard. The double township threat is very real. Ochoa's going to have to find a super. Sam has a lot of dead draws here, a few really good ones. Another Lingering Souls would be great. Massacre Worm would be great. Elish Norn would be great. He probably doesn't have Elish Norn in anymore.
Yeah, I would be surprised.
Sorin, actually, I think also quite a good draw. So both Gideon's going to Superman and attack at Liliana.
Yep.
Lingering, so is the Spirit Token. I think you have to chump the Gideon. Yeah. Which is actually, that one creature dying is such a valuable resource here.
Now it means his flashback Lingering Souls gets to protect Gideon for another turn.
What it means that it also means that, you know, remember, these souls aren't just 1/1s right now. They're potential 5/5s without too much effort. So, and Ochoa, I think he drew a land. Definitely not going to cast it. Ochoa, I think you just go.
Yeah, he's just going to jam all of his Lingering Souls here, play his land, hope that Liliana gets +1, and then go for the Throat in response if that happens. This could be the best Massacre Worm of all time, however. It could happen right here.
Right off the top. Do it.
No, I think it's in the land.
Can't tell.
I think Sam's hand's just 2 lands.
Or it's a Sorin.
Yeah, he's going to go in response. the 3/3.
Throat has been gotten. It's another land. And Sam, a little bit of a tell there, deciding kind of shows he has another land.
So yeah, Ochoa definitely
Remember,
in the driver's seat now.
Sam probably has one more turn to top deck the best Massacre Worm ever.
Ochoa with all of the pressure. 2 Forbidden Alchemy still waiting in the graveyard.
Yeah, Sam's gonna need the Massacre Worm right
Pronto.
now. Once that alchemy's fired off, it's likely Ochoa will find something that could dissipate. At that point, I don't think there's many outs left for Sam. Everything at Liliana.
So I imagine a Lingering Souls is going to block, and then we're just going to township up. Oh no, he's chumping. I guess the chump makes sense if you're presuming your only way to really win.
He says he's going to vault, but I know that's not going to work. Gideon.
Yeah. Does not work that way, I don't think.
And David is informing him that does not work.
That's actually still fine because if you're only out as Massacre Worm, you might as well have him keep all the souls, right?
Yeah, is it? And Solon.
That ain't it.
It's possible that David could still whiff off the first alchemy.
He's still got a little bit of time.
Remember, because like mana leak's not actually a counter spell
right,
here anymore, so there's a limited number of things that Ochoa can actually get that are really great.
Yeah, it's basically like he has 1 Dissipate and he has 1 Lice Finale, and it actually might be worth, with his board being this dominant, it actually might be worth, if he doesn't find a counter spell, actually just a Lice Finale to get Massacre Worm out of the deck. And just
3 lands into the yard. Ochoa snap keeps something. Didn't have a chance to catch it.
Yeah. Some spell, I would assume.
He has a Day of Judgment, I believe. Is that an... It's fine.
Boom.
I don't think the Massacre Worm's an out anymore.
Yeah, no, not anymore. It's an 11 spot.
11. Even if he plays the Massacre Worm, Gideon will be able to knock him down to 3 because David will sacrifice the Karn. And another land. That's going to be the concession.
All right, so David Ochoa wins 2 games to 1.
Interesting matchup. We've seen a lot of ramp control matchups. Usually really good matchups for control. Still is here, but I think, Sam